Hey guys, welcome to the start of a new reading vlog. Today I was kind of busy because it is my birthday, so I went out to eat. I'm going to insert a little clip. But I came home and started reading The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. I'm 117 pages in and I am in love with Percy and Monty. We have already got to the drama. I'm kind of intrigued to see what the trinket is now, like why it's so important that people will be coming after Percy. But one thing that this book has done that aggravates me so much, miscommunication already. Like Percy and Monty made out, and then Monty said something that Percy didn't like, and now they're fighting, but it could all be fixed with a simple sit down and talk about what happened. And I hate when books do that. Miscommunication. That was something that really drove me crazy in The Wedding Date by Jasmine Guillory. So I'm like, hopefully they will sit down at some point in time and talk about what Monty said that Percy didn't like and why he's upset. But right now they're currently on the run. This book is moving so fast. So I'll probably be finished with this soon. I'm still currently reading Columbine, trying to get that done. I've been rushing through that because it's got to go back Friday. Oh, and the library just sent me an email. I'm so excited. Put In by Julie Murphy has arrived. Also, Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Heron Blake. So I'm like so tempted to go and get them because I want them, but I can wait until Friday. I'm telling myself I can wait. But that's my update for today, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Whoa, today has been a day. I woke up this morning to the heartbreaking news, but not surprising news that Freeform has decided to cancel Shadowhunters. I mean, is anybody surprised? Anybody? Because I'm not really surprised. First of all, I kind of felt something was happening when Cassandra Clare jumped ship on season 2. Season 1, she was so happy and upbeat and always like posting things about the cast and like reminding you to watch Shadowhunters. And then when season 2 got here, it was almost as if they tried their hardest to erase Cassandra from existence. Like she didn't exist, like she didn't pour her hard work and soul into writing this $1 million, book franchise or whatever. And then, okay, a lot of the book lovers, myself included, forgive me, I have an eye problems. So if I'm rubbing my eye, that's why. But in season 1, a lot of the book lovers, such as myself, and people who think the book did it better, stopped watching. So I feel like half of their audience dropped off during season 1 because the writing was terrible. The acting wasn't that good, to be honest. I mean, a lot of people can lie and say it was, but it's not. If you look at season 3 and you look at season 1, it is a drastic improvement in almost every character and acting. It's like they finally found their footing and place with the character. And I also was, it's the fact that Todd and Darren tried so hard, it seemed to separate themselves from the actual books, and it didn't work. I've been struggling. I wanted to do a video separate from this, but I don't think I will be because I've been struggling all day to think about what I want to say. But like, they wanted the characters and they wanted a skeleton of the books, but they took out everything and switched and rearranged everything that we loved about the books and the storylines, and it just was not a good show. Towards the end, it was a fan fiction, you know, just like someone took the characters and they took maybe a general plot from each book and tried to make a TV show, but while at the same time distancing themselves and often, you know, shitting on the books, and it turned a lot of fans off. I only stayed for Malik. That's why I'm heartbroken, because there's so many things that I wanted to see happen with Malik that are not going to happen now. I'm still hoping someone picks him up, but according to Freeform, they let go of Shadowhunters because it takes a lot of money to produce each episode, and Netflix pulled out of the international market, and they were getting a lot of money from Netflix showing Shadowhunters on Wednesday. Sad, but and what makes me mad, what frustrates me so much, is that I thought I only had to wait until August to get the remaining 10 episodes of the season. Nope, not so fast. Netflix, Netflix, Freeform decided that they're gonna hold on the 10 episodes from 3B, and they're going to make us wait a whole year until spring 2019, where we'll get all 10 episodes of 3B, and we'll get a 2 hour season finale that's going to be focusing on um, City of Heavenly Fire. They're going to make the 2 hour season finale, I guess, try to fit as much of City of Heavenly Fire in it as they can possible. It's going to be a clusterfuck. I already feel it in my soul. I'm upset, but I also kind of feel smug about it because I did a video a couple of months ago or last year where I talked about Darren and Todd and how I didn't like the direction they were going with the show, and I feel vindicated at a cost, but I still feel vindicated because I still feel the same way that I feel now then, if I'm making sense. I feel like they messed up the show. You know, they tried so hard to make it a separate entity when we fell in love with the books, and that's why we wanted an adaptation. Okay, but let me get off of that because most of you here probably aren't Shadowhunters fans. I'm sorry, I just needed to vent because I'm angry, heartbroken, but not at all surprised. I don't even need the book. It's going to glare. I am 220 pages into The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee, and I think I might be reading a new favorite book for me. Oh my God, I love the moments that we're getting with Percy and Monty. I love Percy and Monty. I was so sad to learn. I don't want to spoil it, but I was so sad to learn that Percy wasn't actually going to medical school. Like, I thought he was going to medical school, but we find out what's really going to happen to him at the end of the grand tour, and it broke my heart. I also love the development of Monty and Felicity's relationship because in the beginning of the book they started off as like siblings who weren't even talking to one another, and now even though they're arguing, you can see like bit by bit they're opening up and starting to actually have a real relationship with each other, and it is so cute. I also love how descriptive Mackenzie Lee is in this book. Like, I've never been to Barcelona or Spain or London. Like, I've never been to those places, but she's just so vivid in her descriptions of like sights and smells and tastes of each place that they go to that I feel like I've been there. I feel like I can see everything in my mind. This book is just so amazing, and it's absolutely quick. It's like so quick. Like, I just started reading it last night around 8, and already I'm almost 50% through the book. I can't wait for A Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracies because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that Felicity is asexual, and that's going to be her story. It comes out October. I can't wait, but this is a good start to my Pride Month TBR because this month I'm trying to read as many books as I can on that TBR, which should be, I think, my last video on my channel. If you haven't seen it yet, you want to know all the books that I'm reading. for Pride Month. But I'm going to get out of here and I'll be back when I have another update. So I am on page 364, um, chapter 22. There's only 30 chapters in the book. We just got recognition that the feelings are mutual between Percy and Monty, and like I just started melting. Oh my god, I was just like, ah! They shared that they feel the same for each other. It's so cute. This book is so cute. I can't. No, I can't. And I feel like I'm starting to want to rush now because I only have like 100 or something, give or take 100 pages left. Just love this book so much. I also love something that I forgot to mention in the last clip. I love how Percy, not Percy, Monty has his privilege checked. You know, yes, he did. Yes, he has been abused by his dad, but he was kind of on this woe is me, like everybody feel bad for me. And Felicity's like, chill out, bro. Like, you want everybody to feel bad for you, but you are a white man and you are in a you come from a rich background. You're very privileged. I'm a woman whose desire is to study medicine and become a doctor one day, and that's not going to happen right now because during, I think this book takes place in the 1800s, Felicity was not allowed to go to school. Women were not allowed to go to school except for a finishing school where they teach you how to sew, cook, be a good housewife, you know. And then here's Percy on the side, and and how can I say? And Monty is having to see the way that people are treating Percy because his skin is dark. So you're seeing through his personal growth and development through the novel, you're seeing him recognize his privilege. That even though his dad does beat him occasionally, and he is struggling with having to hide his sexuality, he still has it better off than either Felicity or Percy because he is a white man from an upper class family, and that gives him privilege. And I just loved it. I was like, yes, Mackenzie Lee, tell him about his privilege. Okay, because I've actually known and seen, especially when I was going to college, white guys who did not understand that they had privilege, and my teachers, usually white women, had to break it down for them and tell them, like, you have privilege and here's why. A, B, C, D, E. Like, here's why you have privilege as a white man. And that was just, yes, Mackenzie. Oh my gosh. But I just love this book so much. I think it's definitely going to be a favorite of mine. But I wanted to give you that update. I just finished A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee, and it was so good. I'm so happy. I just love this book. I can't wait for Felicity's story because she grew on me. At first, she was a character that I was kind of like, I don't know how to feel about her. I didn't really like her. But as the story, developed, I really came to care deeply for Felicity. So I'm really excited for her story. Oh my god. I don't even know what to say. I just loved this book so much. I loved the writing, which I think I talked about in my last clip, is very descriptive. You feel that you're actually in these places and you're experiencing these things with Monty and Percy and Felicity. The character development, oh my gosh. I love just how well researched this book feels. Definitely 5 stars for me, and I think I may have found a new favorite. Love it. Oh my gosh. I'm going to end this clip, but I just wanted to tell you that I finished it. I love it. I definitely recommend it if you have not read it. So I'm back with another update. I decided to pick up Fat Angie. This is by Charles and Chudurlo. I always mess that up. I messed it up in my Pride Month TBR, but I don't know how to feel about this book because the main character is named Fat Angie, but every sentence in the book it seems to start with Fat Angie. Like Fat Angie went to PE, Fat Angie went to lunch, Fat Angie talked to the new girl. It's kind of like when you were in elementary and you had to write sentences and you were like, I walked to the park, I picked up the ball, I had a good day. Like we we don't need to be reminded at every turn that the character is fat. We know that the character is fat. Like, can't you use some other like nouns to describe her? Like, it seems like the only thing that this character is her weight and nothing else. But I'm only 2 chapters in, so I can't really say how I'm gonna feel about this book. But I don't have high hopes for it. I meant the love interest is named KC Romance, and the author keeps like throwing in these. I guess how I feel about it is how people felt about Leah on the Offbeat by Becky Albertalli. She kept throwing in all of these cultural references, but all of hers seemed to be from the 80s and 90s. But if I'm not mistaken, this book was published in 2014, and from what I know, it's set like in the 2000s. But all of her references are from like the 80s and 90s, like Carrie from Stephen King, and what else did she do? Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I'm just like, why? Why? It seems like on every page there's like a cultural reference to like a movie or a TV show. Like I'm only 2 chapters in, and she's already mentioned 16 Candles with Molly Ringwald, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Carrie by Stephen King. It's like, is every page gonna be a reference to some piece of culture that most people are not gonna know? I don't know. I'm just I'm not really liking that book so far. And I am reading City of Fallen Angels by Cassandra Clare. I did not read this last month and I can't fall behind if I want to be able to finish out all of Cassandra Clare's finished series this year. So I got to read this one and A Clockwork Prince this month also. I'm currently 91 pages into it, and it's Shadowhunters. I'll never get tired of Shadowhunters. I love them. But that's my update for today, and I'll be back when I have another one. I am on chapter 9 of City of Fallen Angels. All I can say is poor Simon and Maureen. If you've read the book, you know what I mean. Reading this book just makes me so much more excited for, I think it's the Black Scrolls, book 1 in the Eldest Curses trilogy by Cassandra Clare and Wesley Chu, because the first book takes place with what we don't get to see in this one. Because most of this book, Simon, Magnus, and Alec are away on a trip, taking a break, and trying to allow Alec to deal with the grief of Max. And the parts that we don't get to see in here are going to be the first book in the trilogy. I'm so excited about it because it is an adult trilogy. So maybe we could get some good moments, some sexy time. Now that the show is canceled and it doesn't look like it's going to be brought back, we'll also get a wedding. And Cassandra has alluded to the fact that it's going to be a really cute with their two boys, and I am just so ready for it. But I I started reading Symptoms of Being Human by Jeff Garvin, and I am 38 pages in. I'm on chapter 5. So far, this book is really sad and eye opening because it's difficult hearing Riley talk about the fact that they can't wear the clothes that they feel like wearing every day to school, because if Riley shows up the first day of school in a dress, everybody's going to assume that Riley is a female. And then if Riley then feels male the next day and comes more masculine, people are going to act hostile towards it because Riley already showed up as a female. And it's just something that I've never thought about before. I never thought about the fact that for some gender fluid people, it is a struggle deciding whether or not they can fully act on whatever spectrum they're feeling that day. But Riley is really in a high school um, environment that oftentimes is toxic to everybody in it, unless you're in the upper echelon, like you're like the football players and cheerleaders. So this book is really opening my eye to the struggles of gender fluid people. And now I want some more books. So if you have any more books, I'm going to be looking on Goodreads. But if you have any more books that are gender fluid, let me know in the comment section, because I'm hoping eventually to read a book from every letter of the LGBTQIA plus spectrum. I got my books from the library. They were on hold. So excited. I got Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Heron Blake. This is about a girl named Myra whose twin brother, let me see, whose twin brother Owen is being accused of sexually assaulting her best friend, and she's struggling with having a loyalty to her brother who she doesn't think would do something like this, but also having a loyalty to her best friend who she knows wouldn't lie about this. And Books and Lala is the reason that I got this, partially because she did a wrap up where she mentioned that the subject is handled with respect, and it's about consent and rape culture and victim blaming. And I'm really excited to read it because it's short. It's only like 295 pages. And it's also LGBT because the main character is also having to deal with seeing her ex girlfriend Charlie. Then I'm so excited. I got Pudding, the companion novel to Dumpling by Julie Murphy. This follows Millie Mullichek, who we meet in the first book. And this year she's decided that she's not going to fat camp. She's going to do something that she has always wanted to do, which I think is journalism. Oh, it's to kiss the boy that she has a crush on, and she meets Callie, who was the she was like the villain, the bad girl, the jerk in the first book, and they form a friendship. And the last book I got came as a surprise to me. I did not think the library was going to get it so soon. And it is Anger is a Gift by Mark O'Shiro. It's also LGBT, so I'm going to try to get to it this month. But it is almost like 500 pages. It is big, and I just read the Gentleman's Guide, and it was 513. So I'm definitely not ready to jump back into another big book, but we'll see. But that is all for my update. I will be back when I have another one. So I went to Barnes and Nobles today. I got one of my birthday presents. I'm so excited. This book is on my most anticipated list on Goodreads. Social Intercourse by Greg Howard. It says, Beck, the Golden Girls loving, out and proud choir nerd, growing up in the ass crack of the Bible Belt. Jax, the Golden Boy star quarterback with a slick veneer, facing uncomfortable truths about himself and his past. When Beck's emotionally fragile dad starts dating the recently single and supposedly lesbian mom of former bully Jackson Parker, Beck is not having it. Jax isn't happy about the situation either, holding out hope that his moms will reunite and restore the only stable home he's ever known. Putting aside past differences, the boys plot to derail the budding romance between their parents at their conservative hometown's first ever rainbow prom. Hearts will be broken, new romance will bloom, but nothing will go down the way Beck and Jack have planned. In his hilarious and provocative YA debut, Greg Howard examines the challenges of growing up different in a small southern town through the lens of colorful and unforgettable characters who stay with you long after the last drop of sweet tea. I am so excited for this book, especially because it was marketed as Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda meets the Parent Trap. If you've been on my channel, you know I'm obsessed with Simon versus. So hopefully that'll be a good read. And I'm still reading Symptoms of Being Human by Jeff Garvin. I am on 143. I'm about 42% of the way through this book. If you have not read this book, please pick it up because it's so thought provoking and it makes you examine like things that you take for granted, such as getting up in the morning and putting on clothes. Like literally, Riley has to dress neutral every day because they feel like they're in a toxic environment where they're not free to one day dress film and the next day dress mask. And then sometimes Riley fluctuates like during the day. During the day, I'm trying to think of how Riley described it. During the day, Riley will feel both film and mask. It's just a really good book. I love it. I recommend it. So that's my update for today, and I will be back tomorrow to wrap this thing up. So today was hell. I started out going to the grocery store. The tire blew on the car. We were beside the road for 3 hours. Finally, AAA was able to come and tow the car back home, and we were able to get our van from the house so we could continue to go grocery shopping. It was crazy. If you follow me on my Instagram, you probably saw it. I was updating on my stories. But it was just a long, unnecessary day. But I finished City of Fallen Angels, book 4 in the Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. And as I was reading this, I realized that this book was really unnecessary. It basically sets up, but it only does that in like the last third of the book. It sets up for City of Lost Souls. And what was I going to say? Oh my god, I'm so tired. I really need to just like end this vlog, edit it, and get it up. But it really sets up for City of Lost Souls. And I guess when I first read it, I was so caught up in Malik that I gave it like a higher grade than it probably should have been. But I've decided that I'm not going to change my star ratings for the Mortal Instruments, even if I read them a million times. I'm going to go with what I felt at the time. But I'm really excited to have this out of the way so that I can move on to Clockwork Prince, and I'll be on schedule for my Year of Cassandra Clare. But right now, I'm probably going to try to finish up Symptoms of Being Human by Jeff Garvin and move on to my pile of LGBTQ books. I have that in my TBR for this month. But I'm tired. I'm blabbing. If you stayed throughout this whole extremely long vlog, you are the real MVP. Okay, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to, you can follow me on all of my social medias, which are always linked in the description down below. And until next time, happy reading.